Billionaire missed a $300 million deal to save homeless pregnant widow. The next day this happened. Do the world measure life in dollars accumulated, or lives touched? In deals closed, or futures opened? In headlines written, or quiet moments when you chose grace over glory? Will you scroll past the story and forget it by dinner? Or will you let it change you? Because here's what most people miss. The story isn't just about Calder Rowan. It's about you. About the moment you realize that you have the power, right now, today, to interrupt someone's suffering, to redirect someone's destiny. Stay with us. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. The elevator doors part with a whisper. Calder Rowan steps into the hallway on the 47th floor of the Meridian Tower, and the air changes. It tastes like money, leather portfolios, imported coffee, the faint chemical burn of fresh ink on contracts worth more than most people will earn in 10 lifetimes. His phone vibrates. Again. He doesn't look at it. Through the glass wall to his left, 12 people sit around a table built from reclaimed Brazilian walnut. 3 investment bankers. 2 attorneys. 7 executives whose combined net worth could fund a small nation's healthcare system. They're waiting. The woman at the head of the table, Christine Valerio, CEO of SolarEdge Dynamics, glances toward the door. Her expression doesn't change, but her fingers tap once against the table's edge. Calder's assistant, Jordan, materializes beside him. 28 years old, perpetually caffeinated, loyalty hardwired into his DNA. Sir. Jordan's voice is low, controlled. They're ready. Press is downstairs. Market closes in 19 minutes. 19 minutes. Calder nods but doesn't move toward the boardroom. His phone buzzes again. The screen lights up with a headline preview from the Wall Street Journal. Rowan Energy poised for historic clean tech acquisition. He swipes it away. Outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, Manhattan sprawls in every direction. The rain started 10 minutes ago, light at first, now committed. Drops streak the glass like tears on a face that's forgotten how to cry. Calder's mother used to say rain was God's way of washing the world's memory clean. She'd been dead for 6 years. Some days he still heard her voice more clearly than the people standing right in front of him. Asterisk money is loud. Conscience is quiet. Listen carefully. Asterisk. Sir? Calder turns. Jordan's holding the door open. Beyond it, the boardroom hums with restrained impatience. Christine Valerio is standing now. So are the bankers. Give me 2 minutes, Calder says. Jordan blinks. Sir, we don't. 2 minutes. Calder walks past the boardroom. Past the executive lounge. Past the private offices with nameplates that cost more than engagement rings. He presses the call button for the public elevator, the one the cleaning staff uses, and waits. Jordan follows. Mr. Rowan, if you need a moment, we can delay. I don't need a moment. The elevator arrives. Calder steps inside. Jordan hesitates, then follows, phone already in hand, texting someone. Probably Christine's assistant, probably damage control. They descend in silence. At street level, the rain has teeth. Calder pushes through the revolving door and stops on the sidewalk. The city smells like wet asphalt, exhaust, and something vaguely sweet. A food cart somewhere nearby, frying dough in oil that's been reused too many times. People rush past, umbrellas tilted forward like shields. No one looks at each other. That's the Manhattan Covenant. Proximity without connection. Calder turns left. Jordan's voice rises over the rain. Sir, where are you going? Calder doesn't answer. He's already walking. Half a block down Lexington Avenue, the crowd thickens near a shuttered bakery. Its windows are dark, metal grate pulled halfway down. Someone spray-painted a phone number on the brick beside the door, faded now, almost illegible. And there, slumped against the wall beneath the grate, is a woman. Calder stops. She can't be more than 26. Maybe younger. It's hard to tell. Her face is gaunt, cheekbones sharp enough to cast shadows even in the gray light. Her hair, dark, matted, hangs in strands across her forehead. She's wearing a gray sweater that might have been white once, stretched tight over a belly that leaves no room for doubt. She's pregnant. Very pregnant. Her hands tremble as they clutch a torn blanket. Fleece, the kind they sell at discount stores for $9.99. Beside her, a cardboard sign leans against the wall. The rain has turned the ink into abstract smears. Calder can make out 3 words. Asterisk, please. Anything. God, asterisk. And beside her left foot, bare, pale, the toenails unpolished and cracked, sits a single sneaker. Just one. Blue canvas. Child size, maybe, or women's extra small. The other foot is wrapped in a plastic grocery bag, tied at the ankle with what looks like a shoelace. People walk past. A man in a suit glances down, then away. A woman with a stroller adjusts her path to avoid getting too close. A teenager in headphones doesn't even register she's there. Calder's phone vibrates. 15 minutes. He kneels. The pavement is cold. Water soaks through the knees of his trousers. Custom-tailored Italian wool, the kind that requires dry cleaning and costs more than this woman probably spent on rent in the last month she had rent to spend. She doesn't look up. "Excuse me," Calder says. Her shoulders tighten. She pulls the blanket higher as if it could make her invisible. "I'm not here to hurt you," Calder says. His voice is softer now. "I just want to know if you're okay." She laughs, small, bitter, almost soundless. "Do I look okay? Before we dive deeper, let us know where you are watching from. Is it Canada, Australia, or United States of America? We want to know. If you're interested in what happened between them, hit that subscribe button." Calder doesn't answer. Doesn't move. Finally, she lifts her head. Her eyes are brown. Bloodshot. Ringed with exhaustion so deep it looks like bruising. There's a cut on her lower lip, scabbed over but fresh enough to suggest it happened in the last few days. "What's your name?" Calder asks. She hesitates. Then quietly, "Maribel." "Maribel." He repeats it, letting it settle. "I'm Calder." She nods once as if his name doesn't matter, which it probably doesn't. "When's your baby due?" he asks. Her hand moves instinctively to her belly. 6 weeks. Maybe less. I don't know. I haven't. She stops. Swallows. "I haven't seen a doctor in a while." Calder's chest tightens. "Where are you staying?" "Nowhere." Her voice is flat. "Shelter turned me away. Said they don't take women this far along. Liability or something." "Family?" "Dead." She says it without emotion, the way you might say cloudy or Tuesday. "Husband died 3 months ago. Construction accident." "Wow." "Hospital bills took everything. Landlord didn't care." "I thought." She stops again. Her jaw works like she's chewing words she doesn't want to swallow. "Someone told me New York had churches that helped. So I got on a bus. And they lied." Calder's phone vibrates. He ignores it. Behind him, Jordan's voice cuts through the rain. "Sir, we're out of time." Calder doesn't turn around. Maribel's face shifts, confusion then something sharper. "You should go. Whatever you're late for, it's more important than this." "Is it?" Calder asks. She stares at him. "You're wearing a suit that costs more than I made in 6 months." "Yeah, it is." Calder looks down at her belly. Then at the single shoe. Then at the cardboard sign dissolving in the rain. His mother's voice again, clear as glass. "Listen carefully. Maribel," he says, "when did you last eat?" She doesn't answer. "When did you last feel safe?" Her eyes fill. She blinks hard, forcing the tears back. "I don't even remember," she whispers. Calder's phone vibrates again. This time it's a call. He pulls it out, glances at the screen. Christine Valerio. 12 minutes. He looks at Maribel. She's gripping her side now, face tight with pain she's trying to hide. "Are you hurt?" he asks. "I'm fine." "You're not fine." "I said I'm fine." Her voice cracks. "Just go. Please. I don't need your pity." Calder stands. Water drips from his coat. Jordan is beside him now, phone out, screen glowing with messages that scroll faster than anyone could read. "Sir," Jordan says, "urgent now. If we leave right now, we can still make it." Calder looks at Jordan. Then at the tower behind them, 47 floors of steel and glass and certainty. Then back at Maribel. She's bent forward, both hands pressed against her belly. Her breathing is shallow, quick. "Maribel," Calder says, "I need you to be honest with me. Are you in pain right now?" She doesn't answer. "Maribel." "Yes." The word comes out strangled. "Yes. Okay. Yes." A small crowd has formed. A man in a Yankees cap films on his phone. A woman whispers to her friend. Someone mutters about calling 911, but no one moves. Calder kneels again. "When did it start?" "This morning. I thought it was just..." She winces. "I thought it would stop." "It's not stopping." "No." Calder looks up at Jordan. "Call an ambulance." Jordan's already dialing. Calder's phone vibrates one more time. He pulls it out, looks at the screen. Christine Valerio's assistant. "If you're not here in 8 minutes, we're moving forward without you." He reads it twice. Then he turns the phone off. Not silent. Jordan freezes mid-call. "Sir." "Call the ambulance," Calder says. "Now." Jordan stares at him. You just turned your phone off. I know. The deal? Call. The ambulance. Jordan's hand shakes as he finishes dialing. Across the street, in the Meridian Tower, 47 floors up, Christine Valerio is standing at the window. She can't see Calder from here. Can't see the woman on the sidewalk. Can't see the moment a man worth $1.2 billion chooses a stranger over certainty. But she knows. She picks up her phone. She makes a call. And $300 million begins to disappear. The ambulance smells like disinfectant and fear. Maribel lies on the stretcher, eyes closed, one hand gripping the rail so hard her knuckles have gone white. An EMT, young, efficient, tattooed forearms, checks her vitals while his partner navigates traffic with the kind of controlled aggression that suggests he's done this 10,000 times. Calder sits on the fold-down bench near the door. His coat drips onto the floor, forming a small puddle that slides left and right with each turn. The EMT glances at him. You family? No. Friend? No. The EMT's expression doesn't change, but his eyes do. Then why are you here? Calder doesn't have an answer that makes sense. So he says nothing. Maribel's breathing is uneven. The EMT adjusts the oxygen mask over her face, murmurs something Calder can't hear. She nods weakly. The siren cuts through the rain. People on the sidewalk turn their heads, then look away. That's the city's second covenant. Witness everything, remember nothing. Calder's phone is still off. He wonders briefly what's happening in the boardroom right now. Christine Valerio probably gave them 5 minutes. Then 10. Then she would have stood, smoothed her jacket and said something like, clearly Mr. Rowan has other priorities. The bankers would have exchanged glances. The lawyers would have started drafting exit clauses. And somewhere, maybe in a corner office downtown, maybe in a penthouse with a view of the park, Blaine Merrick would have smiled. Blaine Merrick. The name sits in Calder's mind like a stone. They'd been competitors for years. Not rivals. Rivals imply mutual respect. Blaine collected companies the way some people collected art. For status, for leverage, for the pleasure of owning something someone else wanted. He'd once told Calder, over whiskey at a charity gala, that faith was a luxury of the weak. Calder had smiled and said nothing. Blaine had taken that as agreement. The ambulance lurches to a stop. The back doors swing open and suddenly they're moving, stretcher rolling, wheels rattling over concrete, voices overlapping in controlled urgency. 26 years old, approximately 34 weeks pregnant, abdominal pain, elevated BP. Calder follows. No one stops him. Inside, the hospital smells like industrial cleaning solution and something faintly metallic. The lights are fluorescent, bright enough to erase shadows. A nurse in purple scrubs glances at Calder, then at Maribel, then back. Are you the father? She asks. No. Family? No. Then I'm going to need you to wait here. She points to a row of plastic chairs bolted to the wall. Calder sits. The nurse disappears through a set of double doors. They swing shut with a soft pneumatic hiss. Silence. Calder looks around. The waiting room is half full. A man with a bloody bandage on his hand stares at a TV mounted in the corner. A woman rocks a feverish child. An elderly couple sits in the corner, holding hands, saying nothing. Time stretches. Calder's coat drips onto the floor. After what feels like an hour, but is probably 15 minutes, a woman in a white coat approaches. She's maybe 40, with short gray hair and eyes that have seen too much to be surprised by anything. Mr. Rowan? Calder stands. Yes. I'm Dr. Patel. She doesn't extend her hand. You brought in Ms. Knox? I did. Are you family? No. Friend? No. Dr. Patel's mouth tightens. Then I'm not sure why you're still here. Is she okay? I can't discuss her condition with you. Her tone is polite but final. I understand, Calder says. But I can pay. Dr. Patel's expression shifts. Not much, just a flicker. Excuse me? Whatever she needs. Tess. Medication. The room. I'll cover it. Mr. Rowan, we have protocols. I'm not asking you to break protocol. I'm asking you to make sure she's safe. Calder pulls out his wallet, extracts a credit card. What? The kind that doesn't have a limit because the people who carry it don't need one. Please. Dr. Patel looks at the card. Then at Calder. This isn't your responsibility. It is now. She studies him for a long moment. Then she takes the card. I'll have someone from billing come speak with you. She leaves. Calder sits back down. Across town, in the Meridian Tower, the boardroom is silent. Christine Valerio stands at the window, arms crossed. Behind her, the bankers are packing their briefcases. The lawyers are already gone. The SolarEdge executives look like mourners at a funeral no one expected to attend. One of the bankers, a man named Garrett, mid-50s, silver hair, 3 ex-wives, clears his throat. "Christine, I think we need to discuss next steps." Christine doesn't turn around. "There are no next steps. We could extend the deadline." "To what end?" Now she turns. Her voice is calm, but there's steel underneath. Calder Rowan walked away from a $300 million acquisition with 17 minutes notice and no explanation. What do you think that tells the market? Garrett shifts his weight. That he had an emergency? That he's unstable. Christine picks up her phone. That he's unreliable. That he prioritizes sentiment over strategy. You don't know that. I know he's not here. She dials a number. Waits. And I know who is. The call connects. Blaine, Christine says, we need to talk. By the time Billing comes to speak with Calder, night has fallen. The woman from Billing is young, tired, apologetic. She explains the costs in a voice that suggests she's had this conversation too many times today. Tests. Monitoring. Possible early labor. High-risk pregnancy. No insurance. How much? Calder asks. She names a number. Calder hands her the card. Whatever else she needs, add it. The woman blinks. Sir, I haven't finished. I understand. Add it. She processes the payment in silence. When she hands the card back, she says, That's very kind of you. Calder doesn't feel kind. He feels tired. Can I see her? He asks. She's resting. Dr. Patel will update you when. I'll wait. At 11:47 p.m., Calder's phone, still off, sits in his coat pocket like a stone. He doesn't know that the Wall Street Journal has already published an updated headline. Rowan misses landmark deal, SolarEdge acquisition collapses. He doesn't know that Blaine Merrick has issued a statement calling the situation regrettable but predictable. He doesn't know that his assistant Jordan has fielded 63 calls and is currently sitting in a bar 3 blocks away, staring at a whiskey he hasn't touched. What Calder knows is this. Maribel Knox is on the 3rd floor, room 314, hooked to monitors that beep in rhythms he doesn't understand. Her baby's heartbeat is visible on a screen, erratic, weak, fighting. And somewhere in the city, the world is moving forward without him. He closes his eyes. Praise. Lord, tell me I didn't just destroy everything for nothing. No answer comes. The hospital at night is a different country. Calder walks the 3rd floor hallway because sitting still makes his thoughts too loud. The fluorescent lights hum with a frequency just below hearing, constant, mechanical, indifferent. A janitor pushes a mop bucket past him, wheels squeaking. The smell of bleach follows in his wake. Room 314's door is closed. Calder has walked past it 11 times. Each time he slows. Each time he doesn't knock. At the nurse's station, a woman with silver hair and reading glasses types something into a computer. She glances up as Calder approaches for the 3rd time in an hour. Still here? She asks. Still here. She's stable. You should go home. I don't think I should. The nurse studies him. You her husband? No. Boyfriend? No. Then what are you? Calder opens his mouth. Closes it. I don't know. The nurse nods as if this makes perfect sense. Room 418 has a cot. It's technically for family, but it's empty tonight. Don't tell anyone I told you. Thank you. She returns to her typing. Don't thank me yet. At 2:14 a.m., Calder's phone is still off. He lies on a cot that's too short, staring at a ceiling tile with a water stain shaped like a butterfly. Outside, the rain has stopped. The city hums with the low, constant noise of a machine that never sleeps. His mother used to say that silence was where God spoke loudest. Calder's mother used to say a lot of things. She died on a Tuesday in April. Pancreatic cancer. 6 months from diagnosis to grave. He'd been with her at the end, holding her hand in a room not unlike this one, listening to machines beep and hiss and measure the seconds she had left. She'd looked at him, eyes clear despite the morphine, and said, "Money is loud. Conscience is quiet. Listen carefully, asterisk." 3 days later, he'd signed a deal worth $80 million. He hadn't thought about her words again until tonight. At 3:17 a.m., footsteps approach the door. Calder sits up. His back aches. His suit is ruined. He hasn't shaved in 18 hours and he can feel the stubble rough against his palm. The door opens. Dr. Patel stands in the threshold. Her face is unreadable. Mr. Rowan. Calder stands. Is she? She's stable. Dr. Patel steps inside, closing the door behind her. But barely. The word barely sits in the air like smoke. The baby? Calder asks. Alive. Also barely. Dr. Patel crosses her arms. Ms. Knox is severely malnourished, dehydrated, anemic. Her blood pressure is dangerously high. If you hadn't brought her in tonight, she stops. Let's just say timing mattered. Calder exhales. He doesn't realize he's been holding his breath until now. Can I see her? She's asleep. And frankly, Mr. Rowan, I'm not sure why you're still here. Because she's alone. She's been alone for months. That didn't seem to bother anyone until tonight. The accusation is quiet but clear. Calder doesn't flinch. You're right, he says. But I'm here now. Dr. Patel's expression softens. Just slightly. She'll need ongoing care. Prenatal monitoring. Nutrition support. Possibly bed rest. This isn't a one-time fix. I understand. Do you? Dr. Patel tilts her head. Because the bill we ran tonight was $18,000. Long-term care could be triple that. And that's assuming no complications. I'll cover it. Mr. Rowan? I'll cover it, Calder says again, firmer this time. Dr. Patel regards him with the kind of skepticism that comes from years of watching people make promises they don't keep. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. Dr. Patel sighs. She's in 314. Don't wake her. She leaves. Calder stands in the empty room for a long time. Then he goes to find coffee. Somewhere downtown, in an office that overlooks the Hudson, Blaine Merrick leans back in his chair and smiles. His phone sits on the desk, screen glowing with a news alert. Rowan Energy stock drops 4% amid leadership concerns. Blaine had been waiting for this moment for years. Calder Rowan, saintly, steady, insufferably principled Calder Rowan, had finally cracked. And he'd done it spectacularly. No scandal. No affair. No embezzlement. Just a moment of weakness disguised as kindness. Sentiment over strategy. Emotion over discipline. Blaine picks up his phone and dials. Christine, he says when she answers. I assume you've seen the news? Christine Valerio's voice is cool. I have. SolarEdge is still available. It is. And you need a buyer. I need a reliable buyer, Christine corrects. Blaine's smile widens. I'm very reliable. Pause. Then, send me a proposal. The call ends. Blaine sets the phone down. Outside his window, the city glitters like broken glass. He pours himself a drink, Scotch, 18 years old, the kind that costs more per bottle than most people spend on groceries in a month. He raises the glass to the window. To the city. To Calder Rowan wherever he is. Cheers, Blaine says to no one, and drinks. At 4:52 a.m., Calder stands outside room 314. The hallway is quiet. The night shift nurse has gone on break. Somewhere down the hall, a machine beeps steadily. He knocks softly. No answer. He pushes the door open. Maribel lies in the bed, eyes closed, face pale against the pillow. And 4 runs from her arm to a bag hanging on a metal pole. Monitors display numbers Calder doesn't understand. Heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen saturation. He steps inside. Closes the door behind him. There's a chair in the corner. He sits. Maribel's breathing is slow. Even. Her hand rests on her belly, fingers splayed. Calder doesn't pray out loud. Doesn't close his eyes. He just sits. And watches. And waits. At 6:03 a.m. Maribel's eyes open. She stares at the ceiling for a long moment. Then she turns her head and sees Calder. She flinches. It's okay, Calder says quickly. You're safe. Maribel blinks. Her voice is hoarse. Where am I? St. Vincent's Hospital. You had contractions. The EMTs brought you here. Who? She stops. Recognition flickers across her face. You. The man in the suit. Calder. She nods weakly. Why are you still here? I wanted to make sure you were okay. I'm fine. You're not fine, Calder says gently. But you're alive. And so is your baby. Maribel's hand moves to her belly. He's okay? The doctor said yes. Barely, but yes. He. Figure of speech. I don't know. Maribel closes her eyes. A tear slides down her cheek. I can't pay for this. You don't have to. Her eyes snap open. What? It's covered. By who? By me. Maribel stares at him. Why would you do that? Because you needed help. I don't even know you. I know. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to. Maribel's face crumples. She turns away, pressing her face into the pillow. Her shoulders shake. Calder stands. Approaches. Stops a few feet from the bed. Maribel, he says softly. Go away. I will. But not yet. Why not? Because you're alone. And no one should be alone right now. She doesn't respond. Just cries, quiet, wrenching sobs that shake her whole body. Calder sits back down. And waits. At 7:41 a.m., Jordan finally finds him. Calder is still in the chair. Maribel is asleep again. Jordan stands in the doorway, phone in one hand, coffee in the other. He looks like he hasn't slept. Sir, Jordan says quietly. Calder looks up. Jordan. We need to talk. Not here. They step into the hallway. Jordan hands him the coffee. Calder takes it but doesn't drink. The deal's dead, Jordan says. I know. The stock dropped 4% overnight. I know. The board is calling an emergency meeting. When? This afternoon. 3 o'clock. Jordan hesitates. Sir, they're going to ask you to step down. Calder drinks the coffee. It's cold. Let them ask. Sir. I'm not leaving her. Jordan's mouth opens. Closes. Sir, with all due respect, you don't even know her. I know she's alone. I know she's pregnant. I know she's been sleeping on the street. Calder's voice is calm. Steady. And I know I'm not leaving. Jordan stares at him. They're going to destroy you. Maybe. You built that company from nothing. I did. And you're willing to lose it for a stranger? Calder looks through the window into room 314. Maribel's hand rests on her belly even in sleep. Yes, he says. Jordan doesn't argue. He just nods. And leaves. At 9:16 a.m., the first headline appears online. Rowan's collapse. From billionaire to liability in 24 hours. At 10:03 a.m., Blaine Merrick issues a statement. Asterisk. While I respect Calder Rowan's intentions, leadership requires discipline. Emotion cannot replace strategy. Rowan Energy deserves better. Asterisk. At 11:47 a.m., Dr. Patel pulls Calder aside. Her blood pressure isn't stabilizing, she says. We may need to deliver early. How early? 34 weeks. Maybe less. Is that safe? It's safer than waiting. Calder nods. Do whatever you need to do. Dr. Patel studies him. You're not leaving, are you? No. Mr. Rowan, I've been doing this for 20 years. And I've seen a lot of people make promises. But I've never seen anyone keep them the way you're keeping this one. I'm not trying to be noble. I know, Dr. Patel says. That's why I believe you. She walks away. Calder returns to room 314. Maribel is awake. She watches him sit. You missed your meeting, she says. How do you know? The nurse told me. Maribel's voice is stronger now. Still weak but stronger. She said you're some kind of billionaire. Said you walked away from a huge deal to help me. Calder doesn't confirm or deny. Why? Maribel asks. Because it was the right thing to do. That's a terrible reason. It's the only one I have. Maribel looks at him for a long time. Then she says, my husband used to say that rich people don't do things for free. That there's always a price. Your husband was probably right. So what's yours? Calder thinks about this. About the deal. The stock. The board meeting he's not attending. The company he built from nothing. The headlines that will follow him for the rest of his life. I don't know yet, he says honestly. Maribel nods. Like this somehow makes sense. Thank you, she says quietly. You're welcome. I still don't understand why. Neither do I. They sit in silence. Outside, the city moves forward. Inside, two strangers sit in a hospital room and wait for a future neither of them can see. At 3:17 a.m. on the second night, Dr. Patel walks into the waiting room where Calder hasn't moved in 4 hours. Her face is unreadable. Calder stands. His legs protest, stiff from sitting, from waiting, from holding his breath for longer than any body should. Mr. Rowan. He can't speak. Can't ask. His throat has closed around the words. Dr. Patel's expression shifts. Just barely. The baby's alive. Calder's knees buckle. He catches himself on the chair's arm. Barely, Dr. Patel continues. 29 weeks. 2 pounds 4 ounces. Lungs underdeveloped. But alive. And Maribel? She's alive too. Dr. Patel sits in the chair beside him. Also barely. The word again. Barely. Can I see them? Not yet. Both are in critical care. We'll know more in the next 48 hours. Dr. Patel removes her glasses, rubs her eyes. Mr. Rowan, I'm going to be frank with you. What you witnessed tonight, what you facilitated, was a miracle by any medical definition. Another 12 hours and we'd be having a very different conversation. Calder nods. He doesn't trust his voice. Go home, Dr. Patel says. Get some rest. We'll call if anything changes. I'd rather stay. I thought you'd say that. She stands. Room 418 is still empty. Calder doesn't go to room 418. He walks out of the hospital into the pre-dawn darkness. The streets are empty except for delivery trucks and sanitation workers and the occasional taxi prowling for fares. He walks for 6 blocks before he realizes he's crying. Not sobbing. Not collapsing. Just tears, silent, steady, falling without permission. He finds himself in front of a church. St. Michael's. Small. Brick facade. A wooden door with chipped paint. The sign out front reads, *, all are welcome. Always, *. The door is unlocked. Inside, the sanctuary smells like old wood and candle wax. Rows of pews stretch toward an altar. Stained glass windows, dark now, their colors hidden, line the walls. A single light burns near the front. Calder sits in the last pew. He doesn't kneel. Doesn't bow his head. Just sits, hands in his lap, and stares at nothing. You're up early. The voice comes from the left. Calder turns. A priest, maybe 60, white collar, kind eyes, emerges from a side door carrying a stack of hymnals. Or maybe you haven't slept, the priest continues. That's usually what brings people here at 4 in the morning. I haven't slept, Calder confirms. The priest sets the hymnals down on a pew. I'm Father Martins. Calder. Father Martins sits 2 rows ahead, turns to face him. You look like a man carrying something heavy. Calder almost laughs. Is it that obvious? 23 years of hearing confessions. You develop an eye for it. Father Martins folds his hands. Do you want to talk about it? I don't know what to say. Start anywhere. So Calder does. He tells Father Martins about the elevator, the boardroom, the woman on the sidewalk, the choice, the hospital, the baby born too early, the woman who survived by inches. He tells him about the $300 million that vanished because he turned his phone off. He tells him about the headlines, the board meeting he missed, the company that's probably being dismantled as they speak. He tells him everything. When he finishes, Father Martins is quiet for a long time. Then he says, Do you regret it? Calder considers this. No. Not even a little? Not even a little. Then why do you look so lost? Because I don't know what happens next, Calder says. I don't know if I did the right thing. I don't know if she'll be okay. I don't know if the baby will survive. I don't know if I just destroyed everything I built for nothing. Nothing, Father Martins repeats. You think saving a woman's life, and her child's life, is nothing? That's not what I meant. Isn't it? Father Martins leans forward. Calder, you're sitting here at 4 in the morning questioning whether mercy has value. That tells me something. What? That you're used to measuring worth in dollars. Father Martins's voice is gentle. And mercy doesn't fit on a balance sheet. Calder looks down at his hands. They're still trembling. I don't know how to do this, he admits. Do what? Live with uncertainty. I built a career on knowing the numbers, reading the market, calculating risk. He pauses. But I can't calculate this. Can't measure whether it mattered. Can't know if God approves? Father Martins finishes. Calder nods. Then let me tell you something about God, Father Martins says. He doesn't send quarterly reports. Doesn't publish performance metrics. Doesn't issue statements of approval or disapproval on your timeline. Then how do you know? You don't. Not immediately. Not always. Father Martins stands. But here's what I do know. You met a stranger who needed help and you helped her. You sacrificed something valuable, something most people would kill for, to save a life. And now you're sitting in a church at 4 in the morning asking if it mattered. So the fact that you're asking means you already know the answer. Father Martins picks up the hymnals. You don't come to a church to question mercy, Calder. You come to remember why it exists. He walks toward the altar, then stops. The light's on, he says. Stay as long as you need. He disappears through the side door. Calder sits alone in the sanctuary. And for the first time in 48 hours, the weight on his chest loosens. Just slightly. At 9:47 a.m., Calder returns to the hospital. Dr. Patel is waiting at the nurse's station. You look terrible, she says. Thank you. Maribel's awake. She's asking for you. Calder follows her to the ICU. The air here is different, colder, quieter, heavy with machines that breathe for people who can't breathe for themselves. Room 309. Dr. Patel opens the door. Maribel lies in bed, eyes open but glassy. An oxygen mask covers her face. More IVs. More monitors. She sees Calder and pulls the mask down. You came back, she whispers. I told you I would. People say a lot of things. Calder pulls a chair close. Sits. How are you feeling? Like I got hit by a truck. She pauses. They said my baby's alive. He is. They said I almost died. You didn't. They said you paid for all of it. Her eyes fill. Why? We've been over this. I know. But I still don't understand. Calder leans forward. Maribel, you don't have to understand. You just have to accept it. I don't know how. Then start with thank you. She stares at him. Then quietly, thank you. You're welcome. What happens now? Now you rest. You heal. And when you're ready, we figure out the next step. If you want. Maribel's face crumples. I don't deserve this. Neither do I. But here we are. She laughs soft, broken. You're insane. Probably. You gave up a fortune for a stranger. I gave up a deal for a person, Calder corrects. There's a difference. Maribel closes her eyes. I'm so tired. Then sleep. Will you stay? As long as you need. She pulls the oxygen mask back up. Her breathing evens out. Within minutes, she's asleep. Calder stays. If you're interested in what happened regarding the $300 million deal that Calder missed, comment part 2. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you sacrificed something valuable for someone who couldn't repay you? When was the last time you chose mercy over efficiency? When was the last time you measured your day not in profits earned but in lives touched? If this story moved you, don't just consume it, live it. Look around your city, your neighborhood, your street. There's a Maribel somewhere near you right now. Maybe she's not pregnant. Maybe she's not homeless. Maybe she's just alone, invisible, forgotten. And you have a choice. Walk past like everyone else. Or stop. Share this story with one person who needs to remember that kindness still exists. Because somewhere, someone is sitting on a sidewalk in the rain, wondering if anyone sees them. And your share might be the thing that reminds someone else to look. Don't forgetting to turn on notifications for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.